Welcome back, Patriots and friends. Um, there's no video because I forgot to charge my phone, so it's currently charging. It's at 7%, so it won't last the video. But we got more Q drops. So welcome to Red October. Things are gonna really ramp up. Be careful, stay safe out there. See something, say something. Who knows what kind of, FFs they're gonna try to pull off from here until November 3rd. And let's get into it. I wanted to highlight drop 4808, where he gives us the little plane and the plane ID is Trust 17, right? See it there, right? And it's one of these planes. But what I forgot that I didn't catch, Trust 17 is a B742. And that is the International Civil Aviation Organization. The ICAO, International Civil Aviation Organization, is a United Nations organization that represents the aviation authorities and focuses on international civil aviation regulations. The first letter of each airport's code is assigned on a global map that designates letters for specific regions as seen above. K for the United States, Y for Australia, S for South America, and E for Germany, Scandinavia, and the UK. The ICAO's four-letter codes are used for official purposes such as air traffic control. Flight plans use ICAO codes for airports and airline flight identification. ICAO codes are commonly seen within the aviation industry and on private flight tracking services such as FlightAware, whereas passengers more often will see an IATA codes on their tickets and luggage. And then check this out. The ICAO code for Air Force One is B742. And there it is there. So just a little connection that I kind of found. I was just going over the drops again, and I was just like, and I didn't notice, the I didn't notice that it was a 742. 1217. Alright. Just something I thought I'd bring up. Could be something, could be nothing. I don't know. So we left off here at 4824. We got 4825. Gives us an article. This executive order shall remain in effect until November 3rd, 2020. Was this ever about the virus? Continuing temporary suspension and modification of laws relating to the disaster emergency. Continuing temporary suspension modification of laws relating to the disaster emergency. Whereas on March 7, 2020, I issued Executive Order number 202 declaring a state disaster emergency for the entire state of New York. And whereas both travel related cases and community contact transmission of the China virus have been documented in New York State and are expected to continue. Now, therefore, I, Andrew Cuomo, Governor of the State of New York, by the virtue of the authority vested in me by the Constitution and the laws of the State of New York, do I hereby find that a disaster continues to exist for which affected state agencies and local governments are unable to respond adequately. Therefore, pursuant to the authority vested in me by the Constitution of the State of New York and Section 28 of Article 2B of the Executive Law, I hereby continue the declaration of the state of emergency effective March 7, 2020 as set forth in Executive Order 202. This executive order shall remain in effect until November 3rd, 2020. So that just gives them the excuse to, right? He was putting all those COVID tested positive people into nursing homes with all the old folks, and a lot of the deaths occurred from those nursing homes, right? So he knowingly did this. I will pin this article in this description below. I'm not gonna read it. It just makes the videos too lengthy. No, it wasn't. It's about the election. It was never about the virus. We got Joe 3330. Arbitrary. What is 2020 current year divided by 30330? Symbolism will be the downfall. And it's pretty simple. You can just pop it into so that's what you get when you do that. Can music be healing? And this is just this song here on YouTube. I'm not gonna play it. I'll get dinged with a copyright strike. Not that it matters, but it's not worth it. I'll pin this in the description below as well. You guys can take a listen. $48.28. Do you remember when the media had wall-to-wall live in fear coverage regarding North Korea? Do you remember when Hawaii accidentally sounded the incoming missile alarm? What happened? North Korea no longer a nuclear threat? Mountain collapse? China seeking North Korea commitment to fire short, long-range ballistic missiles pre-election? 17. So back in, what was it, 2018, there was like a missile alert went out to residents in Hawaii saying, hey, there's an incoming missile, you guys better, be prepared. But it was just a mistake. But this here, apparently, according to some anons, was a missile that was fired, but it wasn't gonna hit Hawaii. It was aimed at Air Force One, but apparently we had F-16s with special new technology took the missile out midair. It's a long story, folks. Been at this for almost 4 years, dude. If you haven't been keeping up, you're just not going to know about these little tidbits. Do you remember when they told us this was a helicopter? 17. How much was McStain Institute paid to peddle the Steele dossier? What is the going rate for a United States Senator to knowingly push false, unverified intel to the FBI, lend credibility? Brackets. 17. 4831. Why did Paul Ryan refuse block all subpoena requests by our committee chairs? What is the going rate for the Speaker of the House to obstruct congressional investigations for the purpose of delaying and or eliminating its findings? Protect? Why did Paul Ryan initially refuse to be Speaker? What was coming? Why did Paul Ryan retire at such a young age? Question mark. 17. Shadow president, shadow government, information warfare, irregular warfare, color revolution, insurgency. 17. So those were the drops. Welcome to Red October, folks. And now there's a couple of articles here from the Gateway Pundit. Zing, smug Kamala Harris to Mike Pence. I'm talking. Mike Pence to smug Kamala Harris and tell the truth. And I saw there was a post on the board, and Anon was like saying he was speaking to a Latino Trump supporter or a Hispanic Trump supporter at a rally, and he was telling them that Trump pronounces her name Kamala, which if you really think about it, in Spanish, que mala means how awful. So, whenever he mentions her name, he kind of pauses it and says, Kamala, Gemala, Gemala. How awful. That's what that means in Spanish. Just something I thought was funny.
Fracking, which would cost hundreds of thousands of American jobs all across the heartland. And Joe Biden wants to go back to the economic surrender to China, that when we took office, half of our international trade deficit was with China alone. And Joe Biden wants to repeal all of the tariffs that President Trump put into effect to fight for American jobs and American workers. Joe Biden says democracy's on the ballot. Make no mistake about it, Susan. The American economy, the American comeback is on the ballot with 4 more years of growth and opportunity, 4 more years of President Donald Trump. 2021 is going to be the biggest economic year in the history of this country.
Thank you, Vice President Pence. Senator Harris.
Well, I mean, I thought we saw enough of it in last week's debate, but I think this is supposed to be a debate based on fact and truth. And the truth and the fact is Joe Biden has been very clear. He will not raise taxes on anybody who makes less than $400,000 a year.
He said he's going to repeal the Trump tax cuts.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
Well,
I'm speaking.
It'd be important if you said the truth. Joe Biden said twice in the debate last week that he's going to repeal the Trump tax cuts. That was tax cuts that gave the average working family $2,000.
So, Trump fact checks liar Kamala Harris in real time. Posts video of Kamala and Joe promising to ban fracking.
Wells have become a common sight. Will you commit to implementing a federal ban on fracking your first day in office?
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. So, yes.
My family lives in western Pennsylvania, where fracked gas wells have become a common sight. Will you commit to implementing a federal ban on
Kamala cities as Pence calls out China. We are going to hold China accountable for what they did to America with the Rona.
For the coronavirus. And President Trump is not happy about it. He's made that very clear, made it clear again today. China and the World Health Organization did not play straight with the American people. They did not let our personnel into China to get information on the coronavirus until the middle of February. Fortunately, President Trump, in dealing with China from the outset of this administration, standing up to China that had been taking advantage of America for decades in the wake of Joe Biden's cheerleading for China, President Trump made that decision before the end of January to suspend all travel from China. And again, the American people deserve to know Joe Biden opposed President Trump's decision to suspend all travel from China. He said it was hysterical. He said it was xenophobic.
Vice President Pence.
But President Trump has stood up to China. We're going to continue to stand strong.
Thank you, Vice President Pence.
We want to improve the relationship, but we're going to level the playing field, and we're going to hold China accountable for what they did to America with the coronavirus.
Thank you.
And breaking, we got rioters in Wisconsin smashing businesses, brandishing guns, and attacking homes. Yeah, peaceful protests my ass. Black Lives Matter riders go on a looting rampage in Milwaukee.
Damn, bro. I hate that I can't resell this shit to y'all. Damn, bro. I hate that I can't resell this shit to y'all. But, hey, don't cut him out this year because you already got that But, hey, don't cut him.
Telemundo deletes Twitter poll following vice president debate after Kamala gets crushed by Pence, 74% to 26%. I didn't watch it, but I'm sure he did a lot better than Kamala. Don't believe garbage polls. Trump is crushing Biden in energy and our rally tally in boat, car, horse, and buggy parades, and even cookie sales. What? There's Trump cookies? Pelosi plotting to remove Trump tells press tomorrow we are going to be talking about the 25th Amendment. Yeah, good luck with that one. Crazy old hag. What a liar. Kamala Harris pulled her 300,000 manufacturing lob attacks from a far left prediction, not based on a fact at all. U.S. gained 146,000 jobs since deal. Biden says the quiet part out loud. I thought Kamala did a great job last night. Very presidential. Sure, whatever, dude. President Trump announces he will not participate in the next debate after Presidential Debate Commission changes debate format to virtual to help Joe Biden. Video. No.
You learned it the same way you learned it. They called up 2 minutes ago and it was announced. And they're trying to protect Biden. Everybody is. They're trying like that NBC disaster where he went on the show with Lester Holt and it was meant for a child. It wasn't meant for a grown person. He gets up and he says, we're not fracking. We're not fracking. He was fracking for 6 months. He was fracking. He was raising his very thin hand and he was fracking. And now all of a sudden he's not fracking. Well, tell the Pennsylvania people that you're going. It's ridiculous. He said he's not fracking. That's all he said. And then all of a sudden he goes to a fracking mode. And how about her? She committed her life to it. And all of a sudden she's a fracker. She's a big fracker. They're going to stop fracking the minute they get into office. They're lying to everybody. They're lying about so many different things. But you have to confront them. You can't do something. Yeah, we learned it the same way you learned it. They called up 2 minutes ago and it was announced. And they're trying to protect Biden.
So there you go, folks. That's all the news I have for you today. Oops. Welcome to Red October. Expect things to get crazy. Be safe out there. God bless you all. Don't forget to vote on November 3rd. Y'all know who to vote for. Thank you for watching. Till the next one. Bye-bye.